Hello and welcome to the Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase. We're really excited. This is the ribbon cutting for Console Gaming League and PS4. Hopefully a wonderful relationship. Excited to get this game kicked off between Insanity and Space Esports. Guys, we got some high-level players in this game, and I'm excited to bring it to you. I'm your host, Salt-N-Pepa. We'll be starting on Nepal, and each round of this tournament will start on a control point, and then the losing team will pick the next map. It's a best-of-3 series in a 8-team double elimination, so got a lot of good stuff there for you. The stream start had the bracket links. If you want to go check that out, that sheet, we've got that available for you. You can see who's playing where. We will not get every game on stream. Got some games running concurrently, and we'll try and get as much of these teams on here as we can, but definitely excited. Got a long day of Overwatch ahead of us, so without any further delay, we'll get you into Nepal. Like I said, really high-level players. When I was going over the teams when we were originally getting the registration set up for this, a lot of these players, top 200, top 100 players, even down to like top 10, top 5 players. So a lot of really high-level action coming, and I'm just, man, so excited. All right, coming in here on the left-hand side, Insanity, it's Narcoleptic Wolf going over to the Reinhardt Vikes, joining the tank line there on the Zarya. Celebrity yet undecided while we're looking at that. Space Esports, however, getting built up. Erwin on the Lucio. Zero Killer Marine maybe going a May. I do like May on this point. Generally pretty successful. Leo Mercs a lot over on the Doomfist. Fortify on the Zarya. Ian Calhoun on the Mercy. Manbear Pig going Reinhardt. Rest the blue side, Insanity here filling out. Jebster's on the Mercy as Lightwolf is going Zenyatta. And Kaido over on the McCree. We'll see. Enjoyable running a May as well. That's a good pick. Space Esports coming out quickly here. Going straight to main, using the speed of the Lucio. Just a Lucio for them, so they should be able to set up on the point quickly. Nice high ground approach, as you'd expect from the slower Insanity, but still moving into point as it opens up in about 12 seconds or so. Space Esports already set up here and just looking to dig in and propel this onslaught. Coming in as the point is about to open up. Narcoleptic Wolf on the tank here. Reinhardt leading the way, has his shield up. It's a Maywall in from Enjoyable to try and cut everybody out. It's two Maywalls now in a very tight space as Zero Killer gets in as well. Hammer flying everywhere here for Narcoleptic Wolf. He starts to back out to the safety of his supports, and it's Space Esports holding on very strongly. They'll cap the point first, but the fight's not over. Narcoleptic Wolf still trying to swing in here. The May proving a little bit of difficulty and finally does get pinned out. The wall coming through doesn't really do much to protect, and now maybe a resurrection coming in. The tank back up on his feet. Jepster's able to get into a difficult spot and get him back up. 10% away from a shatter now and just maybe able to use that. Nice timing on the pin. Wasn't able to make the most of it. There is the shatter. Grabs a kill. Fortify takes down Narcoleptic Wolf, and they continue to hold. Space Esports really had a bit of a difficult time there. Insanity did not make it easy, but finally able to go for these staggers. I like the kill there on Kaido. They've got a res coming through, but yeah, I think Insanity are just going to regroup here for a second, and Space Esports off to a spectacular start. Few ultimates building. Erwin on your screen with a sound barrier on the way. Valkyrie on deck as well. Fortify, Leo very close. Manbear Pig with a shatter of his own. It'll be 5 ultimates for this next fight for Space Esports, and on paper you'd expect them to continue holding well. For the current point attackers, however, Jebster's the closest with a Valkyrie about 94% away. Lightwolf with a Transcendence as well, but again, Space Esports look very much in control of this match so far. Now the Valkyrie up immediately from Ian Calhoun. Here comes the Graviton and see if they can combine well, but it's just Narcoleptic Wolf caught out here for Insanity. Damage still going through. A sound barrier from Erwin just to keep the rest of Space Esports on their feet, as I believe that's a Lightwolf Transcendence up as well. Here comes the Deadeye. Not a lot of success as Mercs a lot able to take down Kaido, but now the kill's really going the way of Insanity Esports. Leo Mercs a lot able to get one back, but just a couple members here still surviving for Space. Yeah, still in a really difficult spot, but they still hold the point. 85% now. Here comes the pin from Narcoleptic Wolf. This May just so bothersome. Zero Killer Marine finally dropping, and the point starts to go the way of Insanity, but they won't let him take it. Space Esports back on the point quickly. There's the May wall to just completely separate them out. Man Bear Pig suffers the consequence. Ian Calhoun down as well. Insanity, very heads-up play there. It looked like for a second they would rest on their laurels after having taken that point, but not the case. Space Esports tried to come in, very solid Maywall from Enjoyable, and there you have it, able to hold on to the point a little bit longer. 96% for the opposition, though, so Insanity will have to, again, just control ultimates really well. They really just have the Shatter on deck, but that's definitely enough to win a fight. Here comes a wall out from the center, and I think Fortify may be a little overextended, but now the rest of his teammates coming back in. The pin onto Narcoleptic doesn't quite take him down, but it does get him low. Finally does drop. Yeah, Space Esports coming right back in with a fury. Graviton catches a couple. Yeah, and they're going to take control right back over on the point. Final kill onto Jepsters. Nobody's going to be able to come back to contest this. There's the team kill, and Space Esports off to a great start. Yeah, just a little bit of maybe some contention coming in from Insanity, but Space throughout that game just looked way more in control, a little bit tighter. We'll see how Insanity responds to that initial round. Few swaps coming through. Zero Killer Marine now goes over to a Symmetra. Narcoleptic Wolf off to an Orisa as Vikes goes on to a Roadhog. Ooh, Fortify switching over to a Roadhog as well for Space. This is a good map for Roadhog. I believe this is Sanctum. Just a lot of those pulls over the side. Zero Killer Marine trading in Symmetra now for the Widow, as Enjoyable goes Brigida for Insanity. So I like the flexibility here, trying to decide exactly what they want to run. Now it is an Orisa for both sides. It's Man Bear Pig swaps the hammer for 4 legs, I guess. I don't really know the best comparison there, but this time Insanity with the Lucio getting to point first. Erwin was there available for Space Esports, but they rest a little bit further back, just waiting for this control point to open. Now it's an engagement coming through. Man Bear Pig on the point. Zero Killer Marine able to get the first pick on the Light Wolf, and now it's a 6v4 here for Space Esports. Enjoyable able to answer one back on the Brigida, but now falls regardless, and I think this initial engagement again will go the way of the team in red. Vikes may be making a bit of a contention, but yeah, there's the boot coming in from Erwin, and I think Space Esports will take control. Enjoyable now switching over to the Widow as well, maybe to take Zero Killer Marine out of the fight. Zero Killer already has the infrared sight. That'll be incredibly helpful as they wait to see how Insanity Esports comes back in to contest the point. Staying off of it here a little bit further back and just kind of giving themselves room to work. Here comes the infrared sight. Use the beginning of the fight, sees the Widow. But it's going to be Enjoyable peeking around the inside just to avoid the sightlines. Narcoleptic Wolf now on the point. The only one there for Insanity Esports to try and contest this. Gets pulled across the way, and there's a drop right off the bat. Fortify able to take down that threat, and again the advantage goes the way of Space Esports. Oh, now kills trading in the back as Kaido switches over to the Tracer, able to take down Leo Merxalot's Hanzo. Probably will come back with the Dragon Strike, though, so keep an eye on those ultimates. It does seem like a little bit of an ultimate advantage here for Space, but a few maybe on the way here for Insanity. One of them being used now. The Valkyrie coming out from Jebsters to try and keep everybody up. Here comes the Dragons, though. Vikes caught in the middle of it and completely caught down between the Dragons and the damage from Man Bear Pig on the Orisa. Yeah, just 64% now for Space Esports, and Insanity really haven't looked threatening in this game. Zero Killer Marine able to take down Enjoyable, but only one res available, and it goes on to Vikes here. Erwin with a sound barrier at the ready. Man Bear Pig very close to a supercharger as well, but Space very tight behind the shield. Finally, it goes down and a pull. Leo Merxalot takes a shotgun to the face from Vikes here, but then obviously Vikes dropping the other direction. Space again with the advantage. You see the kill feed just offset their favor. And Insanity again having a really difficult time trying to get any kind of foothold on the point with how tight this Space Esports team is playing. Preemptive sound barrier perhaps from Erwin. I think maybe the fight already won, but it's going to have to be maybe Kaido coming in to touch, but blocked out completely by the Orisa here, and really solid start for Space Esports. Erwin here with a nicely timed boop. Obviously taking down the main tank. That's going to be incredibly crucial to winning the fight, and they did just that. Solid games here for Space Esports. They're off to a fantastic start. It'll be Insanity picking the next map in this best of 3 series. You're watching the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase on Twitch.
Right. This was kind of fun. Yumchat coming in on Temple to do this. Just really honestly heads up warrior play, trying to keep everybody alive, do what he can. Rocket Rush comes out and fades right out of the way. Pops a coalescence, trying to keep those tanks up. Defense goes on hold. And yeah, just really solid warrior play.
Support top plays.
Exactly. Electric Slump coming in. Actually, a lot of Junkrat top plays here. And this, not even using the tire coming through. Sarge had this game. And Boost and Co. getting the win, like we said, coming in as Junkrat doing some work. Milkboy, like you mentioned, Swift in this game. P9 versus Chaotic. Getting the triple. Boop off the side. Lucio Orisa out of commission. And getting the punch on the Brigade as well. Miko was looking good. Tank last week. And a DPS Doomfist this week. A lot of fun to watch. Coming in 6, Gaming Sorcerer here. It was a triple bomb coming in from Desert Frost in the Desert Legion Gaming versus Mounches game. Gaming Sorcerer came with a triple right afterwards, cleaned up the point. Mounches and Desert Legion, like I said, go on to tie that game. And the Apollo for Capitalism coming through with a Dragon Blade absolutely dirty, catching a couple of the sound barrier, helping keep him up, and just doing a really solid job there. Steve's Hundy's insta-lock, looking very good on Diva, comes in with a bomb, catches 3, the work's not done, climbs back to the mech, goes for the Ana up on the high ground, and that's the kind of deep play you like to see. Really solid there. Talked about like that bomb coming in. Yeah, well, you caught like 3 of them in the middle of the point. Duck doing the same, catching 3 right in the middle there, and they were going to hold that point right there. Leo, would lose round 66, but what can you do? Necrotic Jamish here for BGBR, winning over Alacrity and just popped off. It was a quintuple kill for them with the team kill, and Necrotic Jamish showing off. Milk, fantastic combo here over the top. All Davies had this game. It's an EMP triple tire coming through for Instalock, and top plays, man. Just top plays.
Welcome back to the Console Gaming League PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase, where Space Esports off to a very dominant start on Nepal, taking that in 2. Insanity looking to recover and making a substitution as well. LO King Freedom coming in for Insanity, seeing if that can maybe be the catalyst for them. Waiting on their map pick, like I said, but we're kind of doing a little bit of a flexible style where, like I said, starting off on a control point and letting the losing team pick, so maybe picking a map that'll play to their strengths. We'll see what comes out from that, but I do like the format. I think in that first game, again, Space just really did a good job of playing a little bit tighter and kind of cementing themselves on the point for those initial engagements. But then you saw on the second map on Sanctum there, they kind of held back a little bit further and allowed Insanity to try and come to point. But also maybe a bit of a cautious approach from Insanity. I don't think they were kind of playing or getting in as aggressively as they wanted to. And then when they did, Space was very dominant about kind of getting on top of the fight quickly. So we'll see how Insanity responds to that. Maybe oftentimes you see teams go straight payload after a control point loss like this. I know that that's kind of the format that we saw back in Season 2 when teams would have a very similar format to the league structure. So we'll see if that's maybe the strat for them. still a mystery. Narcoleptic Wolf playing a little bit of tank for Insanity. Did a good job there on Reinhardt. Waiting on the map pick, like I said. Guys, got, like I said, a full day of PlayStation Overwatch. Really high level teams. Insanity and Space Esports up first. The game after this, Cataclysm and Heckin' Weebs. Excited for that one. And then obviously it breaks off into loser brackets. So we'll get some games from there, get some games from the winners, and obviously take you all the way through the finals. It'll be about 7 games total. Oh yeah, it's probably, and sorry about that. Definitely stream not ending. Intermission screen, you know, just glitch in the system, obviously. In this tournament, every round will have a different control point to start. So I'm interested to see. I haven't gotten a chance to cast on Busan before. I think that'll be a lot of fun. A lot of good angles there on that control point. Give us just 1 second while we get this all sorted. I'll be right back with you. Alright, thank you guys for your patience. It will be Route 66 is the next map. Finally got the decision coming through, and like I said, sometimes better to go straight payload because of just how different the dynamic is for a escort map relative to a control point. So I think maybe the enhanced coordination could benefit Insanity here. We'll see how they come into it. But their map pick, so ideally you think a map they're comfortable with, and one they feel will get them back into this series. So we do have the readies from both sides. There we go. It'll be Insanity defending first, and again, sometimes you see the full hold in this first section. That could be a huge confidence boost to Insanity. Then on their subsequent attack, only having to go in and get the single tick. Yeah, a lot of options there, or rather, just not even that first checkpoint. Sorry, but Space Esports, if their attack on this payload is anything like their attack through Nepal, could have a very short series. Coming out on the attack here for Space Esports, they are going with Zero Killer Marine on the Widow again, maybe looking for a Widow on the other side. Sometimes you see the defensive Widow on Route 66, but seeing if Zero Killer can create any space. Erwin on the Zenyatta this time. A nice pull here immediately from Fortify will get Vikes a little bit just out of position briefly. Weren't completely able to capitalize, but at least they know that Roadhog is down there and kind of lurking a little bit. Able to build some of the ult charge. Now coming up again, looking for another target. This time misses Freedom, the substitute coming in here for Insanity. Payload continuing to push around as the defense sticks onto this high ground. Nobody dropping just yet, and you kind of expect that at this level, but immediately Enjoyable able to get a pick onto Zero Killer Marine. That's fantastic for them. Ian Calhoun dropping as well. A nice response here from Insanity. Another pull from Fortify onto Jebsters, and yeah, that's going to be the only kill so far for Space Esports as Fortify drops to the back. Nice patient defense from Insanity. Just waited for the opportunity, got a couple picks, and then started storming through. Bikes finally is able to take down a third. Leo marks a lot, dropping underneath the pressure from that Diva. And changes coming through here from Space Esports. I think Fortify switching off the Roadhog now over to a Diva. Leo mercs a lot onto a Tracer. Zero Killer Marine already creating a little bit of room. Enjoyable down, but gets the res from Jebsters. So still a 6v6, but they don't have the cooldown, so you expect Space to move in quickly. Fortify doing just that, getting onto the high ground, trying to disrupt this defense. It's been pretty settled in up there. Enjoyable with a Dragon Strike available. Will use it here, coming directly through the top, and tries to catch any of those members who are crowding out the defense, trying to control that high ground. Is able to pick up two there. Yeah, now it's only going to be Zero Killer Marine left. Once again, solid defensive hold here for Insanity. Nice use of the ultimate. They haven't really needed to commit too much, but now they've got some opportunities. Support's completely out of line here for Space Esports, and they suffer for it. Vike's able to pick up Erwin. Ian's able to get away. They use the Resurrection to get the Zenyatta back up, but again, that's just cooldowns that you'd rather have than not coming into these fights. Man-Bear Pig onto a Winston now. A full dive tank line from Space Esports. We're still going with the Zenyatta and Zero Killer Marine on the Widow. An interesting combination, but here comes the Valkyrie to engage with the dive. Ian Calhoun in the air, just keeping everybody up. Erwin has a Transcendence available as well, too, so you think Space has the opportunity to take this point. It's Transcendence from the other side, though. Light Wolf working to keep the defenders up, but they've already lost a couple. Space Esports with the advantage and still with the Transcendence available. Zero Killer Marine putting in some work now. It's Vikes out of mech, and the attack finally creating some space for the payload to continue pushing. 1 minute and 26 seconds. 5 ultimates on deck for Space Esports. And a very comprehensive cleanup for them. They should be able to cap. Though we may see a delay. Ultimates on the side of Insanity as well, but already an impressive response from the team in blue just to kind of waste a lot of this time bank. They will just concede this point, but they've got a few members further forward. They hate to get that late spawn, and Enjoyable will suffer. Now it's going to be a very difficult fight in this midsection. We'll see how Space Esports takes advantage. Kind of surprising to see Enjoyable drop down there. We'll switch over to a Soldier instead of the Hanzo. Already a little bit of poking and prodding coming through from Space on their attack. Vikes trying to hold off a little bit. It's a Self-Destruct coming through over the top from Fortified. Doesn't find anybody, but is able to grab Liking, Freedom after the mech went into air. And that's all they need, really. They'll go back to the payload. You generally do see the Diva or the off-tank sitting on the payload, allowing it to push behind while everybody else kind of attacks forward. Exactly how that's happening. And still the pressure coming on from Space Esports still. It's hard for Insanity to kind of get settled in. Again, when you lose members right there after the first checkpoint and they have that long spawn, it can be difficult for a team to regroup as efficiently and as quickly as they need to. And they can start getting staggered a little bit through the middle section, which is why the payload, as you can see, is already halfway through this middle point. Light Wolf with a nice pick onto Leo mercs a lot. That'll be advantageous for the defenders, as now they have a bit of the advantage coming into this fight. Payload now stationary. Fight kind of all over the place. It's a bit scattered. Definitely Nepal, the fight's a little bit tighter, but you kind of expect that with a control point. Transcendence now up from Light Wolf. Defenders have a bit of the advantage. Erwin back up here for the attack, but Vike's able to get his opposite Fortify. Here comes the attacking Transcendence. Still the kills go in the way of Insanity, though. Nice pulse bomb from Leo Mercslot, able to take down the Widowmaker Liking Freedom. Narcoleptic Wolf answers with a double. And I think the defender's still in a pretty good spot. I think from a numbers advantage, the attack has At least looks like they'd be able to take this, but the fight really is just all over the place. Leo Merxalot and Vikes back and forth here. Vikes maybe with a bit of the advantage on this Tracer. Enjoyable's in to help on the Soldier. Yeah, and Insanity finally able to hold 1 minute and 39 seconds and a few ultimates to work with. With these ultimates, a pretty good opportunity to at least win this next team fight and make it difficult. And continue just working down this time bank for Space Esports. Infrared out here for Liking Freedom. Enjoyable's able to get a pick on Zero Killer Marine, so that'll give Freedom a little bit more space to work on that Widowmaker without having to worry about those deep sidelines. Primal Rage coming out from Man Bear Pig, just looking to clear off the rest of the defense. Narcoleptic Wolf has a Primal Rage up as well, finds another target, and the defenders continue to hold. It's going to be another retreat here for Insanity. Or rather for Space Esports, sorry about that. Insanity now under 60 seconds. Their defense has been superb through this center section. And obviously lost a few of those staggers. You'd like to think they could have held it a little bit further. But regardless, still no B checkpoint cap for Space. Ultimates on deck for Insanity. And it looks like they're in a pretty good spot. Again, on paper, it just looks like they'll be able to build this. Depending on, I mean, if Merxalot's able to build a Graviton that quickly, I would be astonished. Like, that would be... I'd be pretty impressed if they were able to build that, but a nice change of comp. Maybe if they can just win one team fight, then kind of roll that through the third section. I like the last minute approach from Space, but they won't have the ultimates to work with in this fight. Coming in quickly, engaging onto the point. It's a high ground defense, though, from Insanity, and now Enjoyable in the back with a tactical visor. Kills going the way of Insanity as Vikes picks up 2. Freedom with another. Oh, Light Wolf getting in the mix as well, and just like that, Space Esports just dropping like flies, cut down completely by this Insanity defense. Now with under 10 seconds, that should just about do it. I don't know if anybody's available to contest this. Now it's Vikes up with a self-destruct just to see if they can get any stragglers. Fortify with a self-destruct the other direction. Nobody gets back to point. Liking Freedom just with a pick as the cherry on top, and Insanity with a solid defense. Space Esports with just a single checkpoint. So Insanity is responding the way you'd like them to. It wasn't quite a full hold for them, but they did whittle down the time bank in the first section enough to kind of put some pressure onto Space Esports. Then there towards the end, I did like the attempt by Space to change up the comp and see if they could just win that one fight that would help them get the ultimates for that final section, but wasn't the case. Nice patient defense from Insanity. Saw them hold the high ground, then just pounce onto the attackers from Space as they went down to the payload. So really solid reactions here from Insanity. We'll see if they can tie up this series and take us to a third map. Elsewhere in the tournament, I believe, looks like Fissure going on to the next round. Their game against Otaku. I believe, maybe this team rock. Fracture may have changed names. We'll have to see which team, but Absolute Edge was knocked out in the first round as well. So I'm trying to see if I can get a few of these updates for you guys. Juegas, Juegas, against Absolute Edge, taking that 2-0 win, so they'll go on to the next round. And the game after this will be Heckin' Weebs and Cataclysm, so we'll have that immediately there, waiting in the wings and ready to play. So we'll see if they have to wait a little bit longer, or if Insanity, just folds here, or Space Esports has a stronger defense. Really can go either way. Zero Killer Marine back on the Widow. Liking Freedom deciding to go Widow as well, and I think that worked out for Insanity in the first round nicely. Vikes already trying to get maybe a little bit of damage in over the top. It's Freedom, not quite able to get picked out of the air by Zero Killer. Narcoleptic Wolf on the Winston, can't quite get up, so they'll have to wait for the dive. Vikes not quite with him anyway. Zero Killer Marine getting the first pick, Enjoyable dropping, I think for the first time for the second time in a row. Both rounds being the first to drop there, but able to get the res back up. Narcoleptic Wolf now drops, but already the attackers in a 6v5, unresable, as it's already been invested for that Hanzo. Erwin able to get another pick onto Liking, and things going well for Space Esports early. Zero Killer Marine taking down Jebsters, and the fight completely lost here for Insanity. They'll have to retreat. Ultimates building quickly for the defenders. Zero Killer Marine, maybe about 25% or so from the infrared site. Merxalot, quickly Hanzo can build the Dragon Strike. He's about 30% away. Ian Calhoun, maybe 35% or so from a Valkyrie. Transcendence kind of that range as well. Enjoyable switching off the Hanzo now to a Tracer. Ooh, Lightning Freedom able to take down Zero Killer Marine. Like he was a half second away from pulling the trigger, but now it's the attackers with the advantage, diving into the top. Enjoy able to get back onto everyone in the back. Narcoleptic Wolf doing his level best just to keep this fight going here on the top with the Primal Rage, trying to push Man Bear Pig off the top, but able to get a little bit of the picks here. Finally, Insanity starting to take down a couple. Calhoun can't get back, and the payload will now finally roll through uncontested. I don't think anybody can get back to touch this, and I think that'll probably just be conceding the point here for Space Esports. Insanity with a lot of time on the clock and not very far to push this. They don't have to go all the way through this second section. They just need to win a couple team fights, and they will tie up the series. Map decision will go back the way of Space Esports. Infrared sight up for both Widows, or Erwin might have been able to get that left trigger. Ooh, there's the pick. Zero Killer Marine getting the best of Freedom once again. Light Wolf trying to make life a little bit difficult for Zero Killer. Rez coming through, nice protection. Lightning Freedom back up. Light Wolf now taking down his opposite of Transcendence coming up from that Zenyatta as the Dragon Strike comes the other direction. Kill still going the way of Insanity, and that's what they needed right there. Couple invested ultimates, both support ultimates down for them, but a solid response to Leo Merxalot's Dragon Strike, and Insanity just a bend away from tying up the series 1-1. I think this payload map really working into Insanity's favor. Obviously, they struggled on Nepal, but coming through here very quickly in space, not really able to react as well as they would have liked. Self-destruct going to the back, doesn't quite catch anybody coming through the hallway, and now it's a contention coming through from Man Bear Pig. By himself, though, the Transcendence does not save that monkey, and now he's down. Ian Calhoun down as well. The Zenyatta's got to be close to follow. Yeah, I think just a mismanaged attack there from Space Esports. Just cleanup work now for Insanity as the bomb comes out here. Fortify not able to catch anybody. Bomb's been a little lackluster from both sides throughout this game, but as the attack, or the red team gets off the point, Insanity ties up the series 1-1.
Play of the game.
Ooh, nice picks here from Enjoyable. Solid job there. And again, Insanity responding very nicely to that initial setback on Nepal. It'll be Space Esports map pick in this best of 3 series. One of these teams will be dropping down to the losers bracket, but we'll find out right after this. You're watching the CGL PS4 Overwatch Grandmaster Showcase on Twitch.
Right. This was kind of fun. Game chat coming in on Temple to do this. Just really honestly, heads up warrior play, trying to keep everybody alive, do what he can. Rocket Rush comes out and fades right out of the way. Pops a coalescence, trying to keep those tanks up. Defense goes on hold. And yeah, just really solid warrior play.
Support top plays.
Exactly. Electric Slump coming in. Actually, a lot of Junkrat top plays here. This not even using the tire coming through. Sarge had this game, and Boosting Co. getting the win, like you said, coming in as Junkrat, doing some work. Milkboy, like you mentioned, switch in this game. T9 versus Chaotic, getting the triple. Boof off the side. Lucio Orisa out of commission, and getting the punch on the Brigitte as well. Miko was looking good. Tank last week, and a DPS Doomfist this week. A lot of fun to watch. Coming in 6, Gaming Sorcerer here. It was a triple bomb coming in from Desert Frost in the Desert Legion Gaming versus Mountains game. Gaming Sorcerer came with a triple right afterwards, cleaned up the point. Mountains and Desert Legion, like I said, go on to tie that game. And the Apollo for Capitalism coming through with a Dragon Blade absolutely dirty, catching a couple with the sound barrier, helping keep him up, and you're just doing a really solid job there. Steve's Hundy's insta-lock, looking very good on Diva, comes in with a bomb, catches 3, the work's not done, climbs back to the mech, goes for the Ana up on the high ground, and that's the kind of deep play you like to see. It's really solid there. You talked about like that bomb coming in. Yeah, well, you got like 3 of them in the middle of the point. Duck doing the same, catching 3 right in the middle there, and they were going to hold that point. But there, Leo, yeah, would lose round 66, but what can he do? Product Jammers here for BGBR, winning over Alacrity and just popped off. I think it was a quintuple kill for them with the team kill, and the Product Damage showing off. Milk, fantastic combo here over the top. All Davies had this game. It's an EMP triple tire coming through for Instalock, and yeah, top plays, man, just top plays.